Ian, it's Cup semi-final on Friday night. A great chance to take a step towards another final, but we know Airdrie will present a significant threat to us.
Yeah, fantastic game for us to go into on a Friday evening, that's for sure. Another semi-final, a competition that the club's got great history in as well, and we aim to keep that going. It's going to be a really, really tough game. We know that. Airdrie are a good side. They've done really well this season themselves and deserve a lot of plaudits for the way that they've come up through League One, and since early season, they got through the League Cup stages. They're still in the Scottish Cup. They're sitting just outside the playoff stages, so fantastic from them. But we go into it, hoping to win the game. We do our best to get ourselves into another cup final.
Looking back to last weekend, you'll have, as a manager and with your coaching staff, you'll have unpicked the whole match from last weekend. What were the main points of discussion with the players early this week in relation to that Inverness match?
Yeah, you always go back, regardless of the score, and check good points of the game and poor points of the game as well. As I say, regardless of scorelines, you have to go through everything. Sometimes when you win games, it isn't always pretty and isn't always what you wanted, and stuff like that. So you have to do that, and you have to do that in defeat as well. There's always good points in matches. There's always poor points. I felt the goals we conceded were really poor. Different reasons and different ways of conceding them, but it wasn't like us, to be truthfully honest. So we had to go over that a little bit and look back and see where we can get better and get back to the place where we were in not too long ago. So bitterly disappointed for us, bitterly disappointed for the players and the supporters, but we move on, we get to grips again with training during the week, and we look forward to the next match.
And between injuries and suspensions, we've not really had a chance to see a settled defensive shape, something that you acknowledged post-match on Saturday. What's your thoughts on that? And with Keith Watson returning to fitness now, it is a chance to play your, some might say, first choice defence.
Yeah, it's always difficult when you're carrying a few injuries, and players have been out for a little bit of time, and it's always hard to gauge when the right time is to put them back in the side. But to have Keith back and back fit and ready is a huge plus point for us. I think we saw his quality at the start of the season before his injury. He was forming a really solid partnership with Ewan, and it was a fairly settled backline. It's really important to have that in your team, because I think when you look around this league, or any league and any team, when you're missing key players, a wee dip in form happens. It's very unusual for it not to happen. So I think the players that have came in and have had to reshuffle a little bit and play different positions, different weeks, have done fantastically well to get us to where we are. But there's no doubt you want your solid centre halves, and it's a huge part of your spine of your team. And he's got loads of experience. Keith, his communication, his organisational skills are really of high quality, and also he's a good player, and that he signed these players to play them. Unfortunately, he picked up a wee knock and then had a wee setback just when he was coming back, which hindered it a little bit in terms of the time scale. But now he's back. He's been training really, really well. Delighted that we've got him now to select from.
And with players, experienced players like Keith coming back potentially, you'll have that knowledge and experience in the side that will allow the players to play the game without getting carried away at the prospect of reaching another final. They'll be level-headed as a result.
Absolutely. Again, just from experience, Keith's been around a long time now and playing a lot of big important matches. Also experience of staying calm. I think you only have to look at last season's playoff final against Partick Thistle, where Ross County looked down and out. With not long to go, and that's when all that experience shines through and comes through. As I say, he's a huge part of our plans. He's a huge part of the dressing room. He's also a huge part on the pitch as well. So the overriding fact is, delighted to see Keith back, and he's delighted as well. He came here to play football games, not be injured. So that's a positive.
Exactly, yeah. Away from the pitch, our financial update was announced yesterday afternoon. Whilst it's something that you leave obviously to Andrew and the rest of the board, it must be comforting to know that progress is being made by the business as a whole.
Absolutely. I think the numbers. I'm no business expert, that's for sure, or numbers expert, but in layman's terms, they look very impressive. It's a full credit to the new guys that have came in. I know Andrew works tirelessly around the clock. His hours that he puts into making sure this football club's functioning in the correct way is endless, and a lot of late nights. It's a hard job that he's doing, and I've said before, when we win football games, it's not just the boys in the park that are winning it, it's the whole football club. It's the same with the huge transformation that's taking place. It's taken a huge group effort, a team effort. You can't have one without the other. It has to be in unison, and it has been. It's like anything, we take disappointments as well like that. That's just the way we operate, and it's the best way to operate. So really, really, really good to see. Delighted for everybody. The supporters as well, putting a lot of hours and money into the football club, trying to make this place better, and that was always our mantra at the start, is get people to come here and enjoy it. Even when we lose games, hopefully they go home and look forward to the next one, as we do as staff. So yeah, the transformation is night and day compared to where we were 18 months ago, 12 months ago, so full credit to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Hats off to all them. Back on the pitch, new signing Zach Rudden impressed on Saturday. How's his first full week of training been? He'll be keen to make his mark in the remaining fixtures.
Absolutely. Again, like any player, comes to play games, and we had to obviously put him on at half time against Inverness, just because we had to change something in the game. We had to try and haul ourselves back into it, and we did. Zach played a huge part in that. I liked his movement. I think we could see, and I alluded to after the game, that he hadn't done much work with us. I think that was pretty evident in terms of knowing the other boys around him and knowing what we like from our strikers. But I thought he showed some really, really good flashes. He's had a good week's training behind him. He looks happy, he looks hungry. Again, he firmly comes into my thoughts for tomorrow evening's game, and I'm really, really looking forward to working with him.
Finally, before we started recording this interview, we were talking about some of the extra media stuff that's going to be expected of you and the players tomorrow night, with it being live on telly. That brings it obviously extra attention on us, with the country watching on TV, but it's a chance for the players and yourselves and the whole club, supporters as well, to impress in front of a big TV audience, hopefully.
Yeah, it is. We've got a decent record on the TV games. We've done all right in them, so we try and continue that. But it is, it's for everybody. People will probably be surprised at how many people watch these Friday night games. I think this one tomorrow, a little bit added spice because it's a semi-final, and there will be a lot of people watching the game. As staff and players, we want to go out there and win the game first and foremost. In a semi-final, it doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you get over the line. But we also want to play well if we possibly can. But Airdrie will be saying exactly the same. I think it's fantastic that we're getting to showcase the club again, especially at home, live on television, and we hope to give a good account of ourselves.
Well, we hope so too. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.